Distance nerding.
It's morphin' time! Yay! Well, I guess since we're talking wrestling over here, it's
Exactly.
delete.
And I just found out that Mick Foley's best friend, Terry Funk, is literally from the town a mile from my house.
Really?
Yeah.
I knew Terry Funk was from Indiana. I did not know that he was that close to you.
Yeah, it felt wrong going to the wrestling show without the biggest wrestling people of distance starting there.
All the wrestling nerds, right?
I know. You could have bought his shirt that he was wearing on stage for $350.
Oh my God. That's the other thing is like a lot of these guys, they charge so much for like their merch and stuff. Like, okay, I love Kevin Smith, right? Kevin Smith is a man that I have a lot of like massive respect for, right? But Kevin Smith also charges ungodly amounts of money for his merch and for like everything that you can buy at his shows.
Well, in fairness, it was an auction for his shirt that he's wearing.
Oh, was it the shirt that he was wearing right then?
Yeah,
that's kind of dope.
He actually uses the proceeds to support his charity he works with, which is getting medical care for wrestlers that don't have Medicaid or Medicare coverage anymore because Vince McMahon's a piece of shit.
That's actually pretty cool. Like just kind of that being your the thing that you do. Yeah, I have like high respect for him for doing that.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I went with my buddy. He was a huge wrestling fan. He was a backyard wrestler with me back in the day. He's like, "Hey, you want to go?" I'm like, "Sure." It's like, "He could be your birthday present." I'm like, "Thanks."
Right.
I get to accompany you to a Mick Foley show.
James said you went to a wrestling show.
There was no wrestling. There was no.
It was just Mick Foley. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, let's get into this because we're over here ranting, but we got things to do. We got things to do, ladies and gentlemen. So first off, let's talk about sponsors, ladies and gentlemen. This show is brought to you by the good folks over at W. That's right. W is a brand of energy drinks created to help focus, concentration, action time with no jitters or crash. W contains no maltodextrin, no sugars, no fillers, no artificial colors or dyes. Find out more about W at www.w.gg. Use the code NERDING10. Get 10% off your order. I think I have.
You're still up. You mirror your camera there. You're still backwards.
Oh, yep, yeah. Backwards. It's you booed.
Exactly.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we've talked sponsors. We've done the fun things there. Again, you can head over to w.gg, use the code NERDING10, get 10% off your order, and get all that energy out there because we need that energy.
That we do.
That's right. Now, speaking of energy, let's get into these good vibes, ladies and gentlemen. Our guest this week, most notably, was the Yellow Ranger during Power Rangers Time Force, but also has so much more with that. She's an actress, both on stage and off, and everything going on. We're going to talk about all kinds of fun stuff, ladies and gentlemen. So without any more delay, please welcome to the show the lovely and talented Deborah Estelle Philips.
Well, welcome, Deborah. It's good to have you here.
Oh my gosh, thank you for having me. This is so random. I don't usually do these things, but I was at SAC Toy Con and I ran into this lovely lady. I believe her name is Sandra, and she had mentioned, "Yay, you should, check this out. They would love to have you," because I nerd out on a bunch of stuff, and I just figured, you know what? Why not? Let's go.
Yeah. Oh no, it's gonna be a good time. We're gonna have a lot of fun here because that's the whole idea, is that we're just trying to be a bunch of nerds nerding out together and having a good time.
No shame. Is that Sandra there? Sandra,
That is Sandra. That is her.
Yay! Hi, Sandra.
But speaking of geeking out, before we get into like the meat and tails of the show, I'd like to figure out a little bit more about you. So what did you grow up on and geek out on as a kid?
Oh my gosh, wrestling. Hello.
Really?
Hardcore, like duh, like who wasn't? I was super hardcore into the wrestling fandom. I was really out of control. My brother and I, we would do all the pay-per-views. We would have the parties at our house, and I remember one time with the pay-per-view event, I don't know if you've ever dealt with the whole pay-per-view thing cutting out right before the event was about to start. Oh my God,
yes.
I was maybe like 12 and I called them. I was angry. I meant business. We have we have people, we have guests here. Have some consideration. You better get this thing. Like I was like really into it. And the guy was like, he patronized me. He was kind of like, he heard the kid in me, the kid voice. And he's like, we're going to get this handled. And I was like, you better. Like, I was so mad. But like, I took it very seriously. It was crazy. Like we had our, I would wrestle with my brother and his friends. We would have like little tag team matches and I would go nuts. Like I'd body slam them. I would be like, it was my dream. I wanted to be a valet. Like before I knew about like the total divas or the total bellas or all that total stuff, I was like, that should have been me. That was like back in my day. I was like so into that. Like I just wanted to be in the mix, like the theater, the entertainment, the drama, the beating up and the sweat and it was just all so exciting. All of it, just ridiculous and exciting. So I nerded out on that all day long. And then I would say, I was big on wrestling. I don't know. That was kind of like my only thing. I really thought I was going to be a WWE superstar one day. But then I was a Power Ranger and it was all good.
I'm sure that they would take you right now.
Oh, come on. I you know what? Don't let this fool you. Okay. Because I would be having creaking and cracking all over the place. And I would be so worried that I would like dislocate my hip. Like there's no way. Those dreams are crushed. I wouldn't mind being like, just, in the mix and like, just scowling and causing chaos and just like getting the steel chair and like handing it to somebody to hit them, like I want to be a part female
of Paul Heyman. I mean, the whole thing is you just gotta have a riz, right? That's all it is. Especially right now, like all you have to have is a crap ton of riz, right? Like I mean,
that is perfect.
Yeah,
I'm auditioning right now. This is it. It's happening. That's my bucket list.
I can tell you right now, there are multiple characters that need a mouthpiece, and it's like you have the charisma as it is, so it's like
ready. Yes.
Like Paul Heyman right now is like running stables, and he's not out there wrestling, right? Scarlett, literally Scarlett right now is not wrestling, but she valets carrying cross.
Real, I could do this. I'm so serious.
I think you could do that. I honestly think, and the fact that you are a former Power Ranger, they love picking up on stuff like that.
Oh, that would be a dream. That's a bucket list. Like I would just die. The energy of all the fans and just it's just goosebumps. Who doesn't love that? Like that's just what? Yeah. I would defend wrestling all day long. Like people that make fun of it. I'm like, excuse me.
Not to tell them, but I was able to hang out with Mick Foley last night.
Love him.
Last
night.
Yeah, last night.
Excuse me. I love him.
Exactly. I just said I'm jealous. Like, dude, you were hanging out with Mick Foley last night?
Last
night. 4 hours.
Yeah, for 4 hours.
Amazing. What were you? Was he at a Comic-Con? How?
He's touring and doing a stage, like a memoir. 40 years of Foley right now. He's touring across the country.
Oh my gosh, fantastic! I love that.
And he's from this area where I live, and he he was there. My buddy's like, "Hey, you should come." But he's talking about like wrestling stuff like that. He says the only reason why he never did his last show, the last match he wanted to do, was because he called it the Foley calculations. What if it was it the risk versus reward? He had no problem hurting himself if the reward was great. But he says just now, it's like, I can't do an elbow drop off of a TV truck because it would hurt.
Yeah.
But I mean, Ric Flair still does things occasionally.
Flair still does things though? Wow.
Well,
okay.
He's technically retired now. Technically.
Okay.
He's also like 80.
I mean, I know, right? Like I have so much respect for all of these guys. I did get to meet Mick Foley a couple of times. The first time I humiliated myself. It was at Lexington Comic-Con. And I was so excited. Anybody that's a wrestler that's at a Comic-Con with me should stay really far away. I get very excited and I geek out and it's over. Like, so what happened was I knew he was there. There was a couple of people there. I think Diamond Dallas Page. Oh my gosh, this is so embarrassing. I'm remembering now. Oh my God. Okay, so they're way over there. So I'm not like sitting around them, but we were going out as the Rangers do when it's done, you know, like we're kind of having our time. We're in the elevator. Let's all meet in the lobby. And so we go down in the lobby. And as I was coming out, Mick Foley was coming in and I lost it. This was not the time I was supposed to meet him. Like, why now? Like he was like, we're crossing each other's path. And then I was with my people and I go, wait, I'll be right there. I go back in the elevator. I go back in because I can't just like not like regurgitate all of my love for wrestling right now. This is my moment. And so I go in, the elevator shuts. He's probably terrified. I don't know what I was thinking. And I was just like, hi, I'm just such a, and he was so sweet. He was like, just, you know, smiling at me. And then it was quiet. There were other people in there. And I turn around. Diamond Dallas Page was standing right there. Oh my gosh, I was so embarrassed. I was like, I screamed. I was like, ah! And he was like, you know, okay, like they were really cool about it. But then I was embarrassed because we still had like 2 more days, and then I had to go and apologize. And they thought it was funny, but I was like, I'm sorry. I just was. And then I met Mick Foley again at a different Comic-Con. I think it was in New York. And I was like, he probably doesn't remember me, but he was really cool. And so, yeah, like if I saw him again, maybe he would remember me. I'm that girl that was crazy. They all have to stay away from me. Sergeant Slaughter.
Like the best thing would have been like, had you been in there, turned around and seen DDP and just go, oh, bang.
I know. I did get a picture of him doing that. I know, right? I should have kept it cool. Where were you guys back then? Come on, you coach me.
That just means we got to hang out more often. That's all it is.
We should. I mean, this is like, what's going on? Like I made a fool out of myself. But you know what? Redemption. When I auditioned for McMahon, I'll just audition. Can I be your valet? Mick Foley would be like, no.
Well, he says that he loves people that do homages to him, and he doesn't have problems with that. So you can do. He really is cool, though. No, he's a really like Cactus
I love him. Yeah, he's adorable. I love him. I got to meet his daughter as well. She was really cool. But yeah, no, it's the wrestlers are. There's a respect I have just from childhood nostalgia and having gone into Power Rangers. They really truly were an inspiration to me. Like again, growing up, like I wanted to be that superhero type. It was because of that, my passion for just, you know, what they do. And they really take the bullet. They are like the stuntmen of entertainment. They're action figures. They're real action figures. And there's something I absolutely adore about what they do. The blood, sweat, tears. They really work hard to entertain their fans. And I absolutely have so much respect for all of them across the board. So I really get excited, and I can geek out so quickly over anything wrestling all day long. I'm just like, yes. Yeah.
Well, James wants to know favorite wrestler of all time.
Oh my God. Oh, that's a hard one. I mean, the Ultimate Warrior was just amazing. I mean, come on, that makeup and the whole music. Are you kidding me? And then I loved the Hardy Boys. I loved The Rock. Hello, I mean, who doesn't love The Rock? And then you got, but like old school back in the day. Oh gosh, there's so many. It's unfair. The first one that came to mind was Ultimate Warrior. That was like the first one that came to mind.
Oh man, the
Macho Man. You have to list them off, and I'd be like, yes.
I was gonna say the king of too much cocaine energy.
Oh, which one? Who was that?
Ultimate Warrior. That guy had too much coke energy.
But that music, he was so crazy, just running around. I used to, oh my God, you were like not human. It was just like you are an action figure. Like,
and then of course, Macho Man
Man,
cream of the crop, yeah.
Oh, I wanted to be Miss Elizabeth. Damn it, she was so cute and dainty, and there's this big burly dude. That's just, there was something about that. I don't know. I'm telling you, there's a thing, something's on that. That was the thing. Anyways.
Yeah. So I mean, so with your love of wrestling and where you kind of grew up too, did you feel like you had to get into acting just to have that bug in place?
Oh my gosh, that's a very good question. I didn't know that I was really into acting. I think I was too afraid to touch that. It was like having a desire to be seen but not be seen. Like I was too shy to think that I would ever be able to do that. Like I would be the kid in high school where you want to secretly be in the drama club, but I couldn't do that. Like if I'm standing up there, I'm going to make a fool out of myself. Like I was too scared to do it. And I would always like kind of be like that bitter girl that would watch the plays and be like, I wish that was me, but I was just too scared to do it. And that's that third theater group is where I belong. That's who I am today. But back then I didn't know. I had no idea that that's what I wanted or should have done. So it was more like a living vicariously. And I think through wrestling, that's kind of what I did. But it wasn't until in my early 20s, like I wasn't like a kid actor. It was young adult age, right after high school, and life gets serious. And it's like, okay, well, what are you going to do with your life? I don't know.
What am I going to do? I'm going to go be on Seventh Heaven.
Just, that something like that. But yeah, no, it was one of those things where I started to dabble in like taking some classes that were like acting for TV, like just to kind of test it out to see if I could do it. And I realized when I would do the little exercises or like the little assignments, I loved it. I loved being someone else and just changing my voice. And it wasn't so scary. It was like, oh, wait a minute, this isn't me. It's a different character. Oh, wait, I think I like this. So from there, I was serious about like, okay, well, how do I do this? Like, how do you get into the business? Like how? Like I'm in this little town in Southern Cal called Laverne. It's like 30 miles east of LA, but it's like a tiny little town. And how do I just crack in? Like, what do you do? So I decided to start by being just a movie extra, TV extra. And that worked really well. Like there were a lot of opportunities to just be on Buffy the Vampire Slayer, ER,
right?
All
Days
the
Alive,
all of the like, just like you name it. I think I might have been in the background in a lot of those things. Felicity, just lots of little, and it's easy gig, easy money. But what I was doing was I was actually studying. I was watching how things worked. I was watching how the actors, like the terminology, everybody get on first positions, background act. Like these are things. This is how you learn. You can't really, when in this business, you can't really. It's like one of those things where everybody's going to have their first day, their first time, but you can't really show that. You have to just jump into it. And it was very scary, but I realized like I had to tiptoe. So I did that. I liked it. I got some headshots. I started submitting to agents. They responded. I started doing auditions. I was terrible. No callbacks. And then this wasn't going well. And so they're like, take some classes. And so I did. And I got some callbacks. And then before you know it, I started to like book. I think I booked, there was a show called Zoe Duncan, Jack and Jane back in like I don't know when this was. This is like early 2000s. I don't know. But Selma Blair was in it. There was a couple of other people that were, they were in that show. And it was kind of like a Friends type of thing, but it was like, it was after Friends, but young college kids all hanging out. That type of
99.
Yes. Was it 99?
Oh, damn. Michael Rosenbaum was in this. Selma Blair.
Yes. Omar Gooding Jr.
Omar Gooding's in this, yeah.
I don't think he's a junior, but Omar Gooding. But yeah, it was a great cast. It was a fun show. And so that was my very first speaking lines role. And I swear I got so much anxiety that I was like, I don't think I could do this. I was like, I was going to quit. I was like, oh my God, like you want to do this. But now I was like, what did I get myself into? This was too much. Like, I'm going to get fired. They're not going to want me. Oh my God. Or they're going to cut me out. Like, I just felt so insecure and I didn't know what I was doing. And it was scary. It was like a 4-day job because when you're filming in front of a live studio audience, you have to go and do the table read. You have to do the filming stuff that doesn't make it in the live show. Then you have the live shows to do. It was a lot. It was at Warner Brothers and it was scary because it was my first real thing. But just like I said before, you can't let the director know this is your first time. They're going to be like, excuse me. So it was like I learned as an extra, and some of the extras were extras I worked with. So it was really weird. I was like, they're like, hey, why aren't you going to that hangout, the extras hangout? I'm like, because I'm in this. Like, it was weird. Like, so
yeah, it's like I'm actually casting
weird.
this.
I suffered. That was a hard experience, but I learned a lot since then. Because I was like, if I feel like this every time I do a show or a project, this is not going to work. Like mentally, I was too much anxiety. Like I think when the live part, I was so aware of the audience that I froze at one point, and I was like, oh my gosh. And there's that silence where you're like, you knew you blew it. And I was like, oh my God. Like I was so traumatized. I'm sweating thinking about it. Oh my God. I have trauma around that. And so once it was over and done with, it was one of those things where I learned not to really be like, hey, I did this show, because they could cut it. Like, who knows if it will ever make it? Like, right. I don't want to tell people I did this and it's not there. It made it, but it was still hard to watch to this day. But after all that was said and done, there was a lot of little opportunity to just audition and do this. And Power Rangers came around. It was for Lightspeed Rescue, actually. It was the year before. And I wasn't ready to be like a lead on a show. I was like, you guys have got to be kidding me. I barely could spit out 2 lines on a show. Like I'm not doing a lead. There's no way. So I was like, we didn't do that. Scratch that. So a year later, then I was like, after doing some, after time, it was like, okay, let's go for it. And then boom, I became Katie. And that was like the greatest workshop of all time, because I was with a cast who was wonderful. We were all learning together. It was like an everyday like prep to like for whatever is to come. Like I learned a lot being on that show, and just how it works, how the business worked, how, filming worked, like all of that, second unit, first unit, stunts, all these crazy things, that it was like such a wonderful season for me. And it was great. And then I want to say, after that was said and done, I've retired so many times from the business. I was like, okay, yay, I did it. Bye. I did it. You can't say that I didn't do it, because I did. But that's always in the heart. That entertainment side to me was always there. So I knew that I had to like find my way back. So I went back in just to study. Like I went and I trained at the Beverly Hills Playhouse. And oh my gosh, what an incredible journey that was. I learned so much about the craft that I can nerd out on all day long. The craft is just my sweet spot. Concept to creation, and just like, oh, so wonderful. Like I could just dig my teeth in, and I learned so much about all of that. And now if I were to go back to the Zoe, Duncan, Jack, and Jane, trained as to like what I know now, even going back to Power Rangers, I would have made so many different choices, and I would have taken it easy. I would have had more grace on myself, and it just would have been a different experience. But it's all part of the journey. I don't regret any of it. It was all part of it. It's just we are in control over our own career when it comes to this. It's not going anywhere. And there's so many different genres of acting, of theatrics, that I've tapped in a couple little places that I just wanted to see. I wanted to take a peek of what certain things were like. So among my journey, I dabbled a couple of years ago in the hot world. Have you ever, okay, so amusement parks, right? How they have like the little jump scares.
Yeah.
I dabbled. I dabbled a little bit a couple years ago. It was one of those things where it's in the bones, and like you're at an amusement park, and then you see a sign that says auditions, open call, come and just and I went, yes, like let's go. And so
you just opened everything up for Graveyard, because he's all into. Well, Graveyard is our resident horror nerd. Yeah. So like he is definitely like, oh, haunts. Yes.
About. I know what you're talking about.
Okay, I also make independent horror movies. So.
Do you?
Yes.
Oh. Well, then I should start by saying that I am terrified. I'm kidding. Because that's what's so funny is that I'm not typically. This is what I mean. Okay, so I have respect for all genres of things. There's all different genres. There just is. And
Mm-hmm.
I like to go and explore. And so what I did was I think as a kid, there was always that, ooh, like the atmospheric type of stuff, like being at a park or amusement park and having people coming up to you, and there's just like all of a sudden there's like this flash mob that just starts out of nowhere. I love that stuff. I love it, that immersive type stuff. So when the opportunity came, I was like, let's go. I didn't think about the horror part of it at the time. Like I just was like, opportunity, let's go. And so they were like, okay, give us your best scream. And I was like, you got it. And when I was done, people came inside to see if everything was okay. They were like, what is going on? And they're like, I was being murdered. And so I was letting go. I was like, my BHP skills, let's go. Okay, Beverly Hills Playhouse, let's go. Right. So that was wonderful. But then he wanted me to talk trash and be like, because the street people, you got to kind of be. I was terrible at that. I wasn't very good. I was like, they're like, can you talk trash without saying bad words? I was like, are you kidding me? It's impossible. I can't do that. So I didn't. And so I tried, and it was falling flat. And so they were like, you know what? I didn't think I was going to get it, but I got it. I got casted as a haunt actress in a maze. So I was like, okay, well, what is this? But then I was like, okay, what did I get myself into? Like, can I do this? Like, I was like, oh geez, like, what have I agreed to? And so I kept thinking, how am I going to get to work every day? Because these guys are going to scare me. These monsters, like, I'm terrified. Like, how am I better make friends with these guys. Like, I'm a little scared. So sure enough, first day I made friends with these guys. I was like, listen, don't be scaring me and all this stuff. And we all had our different departments. Like you had the street team, you had the different mazes, the clown people. Mine was Home Sweet Home. So it was like, kind of like Texas Chainsaw kind of thing. And so it was really funny. So they kind of gave us autonomy to create like our own like story. They were going to build the set where people would walk in, but we get to play, like figure it out. And so I learned a lot about like this whole, how haunts work. And I respect it. Like, so because I look at the psychology of it, like, okay, how could I make this an experience for people? I'm about the goal, the bottom line. You're coming here you're paying money to be scared. You want that adrenaline rush. I can't understand that because that's not me. I don't like that, but I'm going to do that for you because that's what you want and that's what I'm being paid to do. So what can I do? So I learned, and I hope this isn't spoilers for people, but like when it comes to haunts, we don't go for, like, if it's a maze, we don't go for the first person. That's not what we do. We don't go for the last person. We go right in the middle. So if anybody wants to be terrified, go in the middle, please. Like that's what you want. And so also within the storyline of the haunt, there was they had, okay, so I was the only, every cast member in this maze, the Home Sweet Home, they were all like, I was the only Black person in this cast, right? So it's a Home Sweet Home, and I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to fit in this cast. Like, you've got the little girl, you have the mom, you have the family member watching TV, you have the little grandma in the shower. What am I going to do? And you got the chainsaw. Don't forget him. But what am I going to do? So I kind of I learned also that in the haunt, like the sweet spot, like the scariest part is not just the end, but it's like the part right next to the end. So I was like, okay, what can I do to like terrify people? Okay. And I'm going to be there. I chose that spot. I'm like, I want to be like the roar, like the big scare. Right. And so I'm like, but I don't fit in this family for some reason. I got to fit in this family. Like, well, how do I get in here? Like, am I the cousin? Like, what do I do? And so, so the way it worked was they go into this little girl's room. Mama is in the kitchen and she doesn't want you there. So she's throwing pots and pans at you. And then I hope this isn't spoilers, but whatever. I don't know where this part is. Also, anyway, but you make your way through and eventually there's a dining room of some kind. And there was a long table and there were kind of like bones on the table. And so I kind of played the victim, like I was kidnapped and I against my will. So, and I was like, yeah, and I'm going to play this up. I was crying. I was working hard. I was losing my voice on day 2, day 3. And I was like, help me. Like I was like dying because that's how I got the part, was screaming and dying, right? So people come in the room and these people were ungrateful. They were like, whatever. They did not care, right? They were like, okay. And they had to walk around the table. They just left. And I'm working hard. I was like, this is crazy. And so like I had I wore wigs because I just, I always, whenever I perform like any type of immersive theater, I disguise myself. And so I had like this wig, long hair all up in my face. And these people did not care that I was dying and kidnapped. No one cared about me. So I was like, I'm going to switch this up right now. I went under the table and I put the hair in my face, and Samara came out. I was like, this, y'all ain't scared of me. No, you're going to be scared of me now, because now I'm not the victim. I'm the one that's eating those bones. So here we go. So I switched it up, and talk about working smarter, not harder. Like, I was chilling under that table. I had my lunch under there every day. I was like, whatever. I look at the feet. Nope, not you, not you. Oh, here we go. Crawl out from the table like, and they were like, people were terrified. I had people crying. I had people praying. I had people like, they were shook. And then people that gave problems, like those teenagers that are like trying to challenge you. Oh my gosh. Oh, chainsaw was coming for you. And I would be like, Daddy, give me them bones. Like, I was like, let's go. It was crazy, but I got into it because it was like, this was my job. I appreciate what these haunt actors do. It's not something I would typically do. It was something I always wanted to do. And I did it. I went in and I did it. And I appreciate the hard work that these people do. People sliding on their knees, people hurting themselves, people punching us. Like, one of my friends, like, these people that were the street actors, they were like, yeah, I got punched in the face. And it's like, excuse me? Like, people have to respect these artists, these actors. They are here to entertain you. Like, don't, come on. Like, you're paying to get the thrill. Don't attack your actor. Yeah. Like, that's crazy. But I've gotten to see the whole side of like how that worked. And I was like, ooh, like, they're working really, really hard. And I respect you. This is good.
Yeah. Oh yeah, our special effects people, when we're local to this area, we get local people from haunts to do special effects for us for our movies, because they have all the stuff, they have the knowledge, they have to make it look decent enough and consistent in multiple days just to make it work. Totally.
I mean, it's a lot of work. It's an art form, you know. Yeah. I mean, and it was cool. I was really happy to like test it out and try it out, and it was a workout. Everybody had like bruised hands because we had those gloves that have those hard things on them, banging on the walls. Everyone was bruised and, you know, beat up, but it was fun. It was an experience. And then I ended up doing murder mystery shows after that. I graduated.
Those are great. When I did drama and theater in high school, and we did a murder mystery for one of our non-musical plays, and so I helped build designs, I was acting, and I also led the tours of people around the areas that helped solve the murder. And, and that was great. And
so much fun. Fun. You know, I think when it comes to the theatrics and where I geek out with this type of stuff is, at the end of the day, it's all about your audience and what they want to see. And, you know, I, as the actor, kind of stay out of it. It's like, it's not about me. It's about what you paid for, or what you wanted to see. It's your experience. And how could I do that? I want to do my part and entertain you. Like, so it's a wonderful like balance, but that's where theater comes in, because TV and film is very different than theater. In a lot of ways. I fell in love with theater once I started to do like some on stage productions, where I actually got a fix of like, wow, the energy that you get from this crowd that's feeling what you're feeling. There is nothing like it. And TV and film kind of rob you of that when you are working, because you've got Video Village and you have a whole cast and crew that are just standing watching, not giving you the energy you need to like do whatever you're doing in the scene or whatever. And it's like, not to say that that's bad, but it's just different. It's like, as the actor for TV and film, you have to create a lot of times your moment before. You have to create that chemistry with the other actor that might not be on screen. And if that actor is going to give you 100% because it's not their close up, you know what I mean? So it's like, you're a stage, you're in the world that has been created by these incredible these crew members that build these sets and put together this incredible atmosphere to make us feel like we are there. We are now immersed in this world that you created. It is such a team effort. Oh my God, I'm geeking out right now. Like I am.
And that's what we want. That's 100% what we want.
I'm locked in, because I'm telling you, we cannot, like, entertainment in general, like we can go from wrestling to like a murder mystery show. We cannot make this happen without all the moving parts. Like
Right.
everybody has such an important role. An
Mm.
extra has an important role. The craft service people have an extra. Everybody has an important job to do. And if everybody would just stay in their lane and do their part with excellence, it is a masterpiece. That's all it is. Like, it is so fun to create with other creators when it comes to projects. Like, I've had opportunities to, get casted for certain things, and they really let you collaborate with them. They want to know, like, yes, how do you see this role? Like, what would you like? What would you feel your character would do? Like, yes, get us involved. And it just becomes such a collaborative thing that's the sweet spot,
Yep.
And I just love that. I love when things come together and it's like, oh, we did this. Like, oh my gosh, how exciting. It's
Yeah.
really
Oh yeah. And with what we do, we have, when we write our stories, we do a lot of found footage horror stuff, but we have the pages where we want the movie to go, but we let the actors kind of create their character themselves and make it their own. As long as it doesn't destroy the overall plot,
yeah.
do whatever you want. And that's just because they're the creatives. They're the ones, we can write whatever we want, but if we have to have someone be able to do it. And if you're creating the character yourself, you're more invested, I think, in the project too.
Totally. And I think every actor appreciates that because, and again, my early days, I would not be that person. I would be like, tell me what to do. Okay, I'm just, you put me where, okay, I say it like this. Like, there's so much autonomy when it comes to being that. And it's wonderful to work with people who allow you to just be and create and to add to the table. And that's what's fun. That's where it comes to life. And then to me, that's more important than the outcome. I mean, I know at the end of the day, we want to have a success and we want people we don't want to be known or whatever. But to me, I take that out completely. If something goes well, great. That's wonderful. But honestly, to be honest, I think that would scare me. Like, I'm not somebody who is like that. The pressure of like, now it's wonderful and it's so great. Now that's pressure. It's like, okay, well, now what? I don't want to disappoint you. I'm like, okay. But like it's fun. It's fun to go with the passion and to allow the passion to lead versus getting caught up with the aftermath and trying to like get the numbers or whatever. Like, if that's not a priority, believe me, that will be more successful. It just will. It will. Like, and then who cares if things don't go well, whatever. Like, then we have other opportunities to do other things. It's about the passion, and you'll know really quick who is in it for the passion and who's not. Like, and that's just it. That's how it works.
I love your attitude towards all of it. Like, it's because it's refreshing. Like, not every actor kind of like takes it that way, and I 100% appreciate the love of the art.
Oh yeah, no, that's what it's all about at the end of the day. And I think we're human, and I think sometimes things can get in the way. And that's, to me, like, if I this is why I retired so many times, because it's like, you not necessarily. Like, I've always had that grounded spirit to be like, not to get caught up in things, which is why I try not to get attached to like, okay, I'm going to tap in, I'm going to tap out. Like, I want the autonomy to be like, I'm in this because I want to be in it. But yeah, like, I feel like anytime, if anything starts to get in the way, that's where, you have to kind of tap back in and be like, why am I doing this again? Because that's, at the end of the day, if that's not there, that you have to like really ask yourself why you're doing it then. Because it's going to reflect on the outcome. It's going to reflect on, and then also too, I believe that with that attitude, you're just going to attract more people with the same attitude.
Right.
And you're going to work together, collaborate. And it's like, we're all on the same page and we all are in this for passion, and that's going to be successful, period.
Makes for better work.
Like,
yeah. It really makes, my day job is doing IT, but, in June, I was able to go to Connecticut for 8 days to do a film, and being on set for me is so much more rewarding in creativity and funness than
Yeah.
my day job.
Oh my gosh, totally. I had one of those experiences back in the day where I was like, listen, my day job it was a nightmare. It was really like a nightmare. It was like a nightmare. And I was like, oh my gosh. And so I had this opportunity to be on a set and I was like, bye. Like, okay, any day, like, man, shoot, bye. You want to tell me twice. So I get it. I do. I mean, it's fun to be on set, you know. It really doesn't matter to me like what the position is, but I really enjoyed working with my cast with Time Force. They were there. There was a like-minded thing going on there. Lots of gratitude, and we appreciated everyone who was with us. So it was a very loved and loving environment. And people that worked for us, regardless of what their job was, knew they were loved and appreciated. And it just seeped through. And look at the success of the show. That was predominantly because I think we really had a good mindset, you know.
Yeah.
We were locked in.
Right. Now, with Power Rangers, you know, going into the power force that is the show, that just the fandom was huge, even since day one of it. Was it nerve-wracking for you going into like this long-standing franchise at that point?
Yeah, like that's why I didn't even audition for the year before. I was like, no, absolutely not.
So were you a Power Ranger fan ahead, like before you went in there?
No, I think, and here's the thing. No, I heard of it. I knew of. I mean, who didn't know? Everyone knew what Power Rangers was at that time. I remember being like a preschool like student teacher or whatever, and being like on the news, like the TV, they were like, kids are getting banned from school because they are playing Power Rangers at school and they are getting in trouble. Like it was on the news. And I remember Power Rangers kept coming up, like, because it was infamous, really. And I was like, what is this show? And I would see them kicking and I'd see their little spandex and the little rubber monsters. And I'm like, this is a show. Like this is a thing. Like I was confused. I was really confused. And I was aware that trend setting, like, okay, there must be something to this. Like, I don't really get it. I mean, I was probably like, yeah, I was not a grown up, but I was a young, I wasn't a kid. So to me, I was like, I didn't get it. But I knew what it was. I mean, it's like saying Mickey Mouse Musketeers. Like, you know what those are. You know what that is. Like, so when you hear Power Rangers, it's a known worldwide thing. So when it came time to audition, when I heard about it, I absolutely felt intimidated by being known. I was like, no, not that's not for me. I'm sorry. I'm somebody who, see, this is old me. This is old me. Okay, me today. It's not, and I'm not saying I want to be known today either. But I'm just saying the fear is not in me now. But back then, it was a fear of, I can't fill those shoes. Like that's a known thing, and I don't want to mess it up. And that's too intimidating. I could barely, walk, talk, and chew gum in front of Selma Blair on a one-liner. I'm like, I can't be like a lead on a show where everyone is expecting, like, what? Like, I can't do that. So I was very intimidated by the thought of that. So when it came back around, I didn't realize it was for a Power Ranger. I thought it was for like a guest spot, kind of like my one-liners that I was comfortable with. Like, I was like, oh, Power Rangers, okay, sure. I saw the sides. It was a cute little story. I was like, oh, she sounds like me. Okay. I do my little isms. There was nobody there. Like, it was just me and the casting director. It was simple. It was easy. It was a shoo-in. It was a kid show. And then I said to myself, I go, if I got on this show, this is a sweet spot because it is well known, but it's also not something that's like too much pressure. Like, it was kind of like a sweet spot of, you can kind of blend in. Like, it's not like, thank God, like I love being yellow. Like I didn't want the pressure of pink or anything like that. Cause I knew, like, I'll be one of the Rangers. I'll be one of you. Like, I was just like, just I'm cool. I got you. I got the strength. I got you, but I was intimidated by anything more than that. That was just too much for me. Oh, but again, if we could do it all over again, I don't know. Things might be a little different now, but back then I was like, no, we're good. I'll stay back here. I got you guys from this. Oh, and don't get me started on like the expectations of martial arts. Are you crazy?
Well, I was going to talk about that because, did you have any training at all beforehand, other than your
WWE? I'm a fan of wrestling. That was my expertise, and I actually told them that at the audition because they asked me. They were like, "So." That was the hardest part of the audition, by the way. Like they had us all come in, 5 of us, which happened to all be the 5 they picked, because there was like 10 of us left, and they picked 5 first to just see how we look together. And it was every single one of us except for Jason. It was somebody else. And they asked us, like, tell us about yourself. Do you have martial arts experience? And I Billy Blanks, Tybo, and WW. And they were like, it was like a panel of people. They were looking at me like, and you, Erin Cahill, like, what is your experience? She's like, oh, I'm a dancer. She could like twirl and do all kinds of stuff. Everybody had like brown belt, green belt, black something. And I thought I blew it. And so I cried all the way home. I was like, yeah, I didn't get it. And like I said, there were 10 of us left. So they kept switching people in and out. Everyone went in like 3 or 4 times. I only went in that one time. And so I knew I didn't get it. And so 2 weeks later, I had already assumed it was gone, and I was so close. It was like, that was the closest I was to like a lead in a show. Cause you know, as an actor, you audition and you have callbacks, you get close, and then they don't call you. And it's just like, you're so close, but so far away. And this was the closest I was ever to like actually booking something that was like a regular. And I wanted it so bad. And now I blew it. And when they called me, my life changed. I was so grateful. I was so grateful. I was like, it was like having a second chance. It's like you think something was gone and now it's like they want you. And I was like, what? I was just so happy. And I was like, it was honestly, if I can go back to any time in my life, it would be that was a sweet moment. And it really, truly was. And it was the beginning of an incredible journey. I have no complaints. Like the journey was amazing from that phone call until it was over. It was just, I was on cloud 9. It was an incredible journey all the way through.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and I don't know how you keep up with Power Rangers today, but the Once and Forever that came out in 2023.
Oh,
Do
yes.
you consider yourself once and forever a Ranger?
Was I in that? Did I make it in there?
No, but I'm just saying, like, you're in that club of you're a Ranger now, and you're a Ranger forever.
Oh, like literally.
Uh-huh.
Oh my God. No, that is something that, okay, the first thing that's coming to mind as you say that, I'm thinking back of how when I started that journey,
mm-hmm.
I was very aware at that moment that this was going to be something that years later was going to be like, you are part of this incredible thing. So I took in every single ounce of that reality throughout the entire time. Like I was like, one day this is going to be done, but it's not, because this is forever. Like this is stamped in time, quite literally. No pun intended. This is for real. Like, oh my God, what an honor. Like to me, I was like, I'm retiring. I made it. Like, that's it. Like, I just wanted to be tap in, tap out. I want to say I did something. I did it. And I did like that. I do feel that. So yes, I do. And
it was one of 73 times you retired.
What the, oh yeah, it was. I did. I know. I was like, no, I'm not doing this. And then I was like, well, what am I doing? I love this. Oh, but no, I don't. But yes, I do. And then life happens, and then it's just, but I always find myself back into the mix because it's, you
can't stay away.
You can't. Yeah. If there's a passion you have, just keep doing it.
Right.
It is who you are at the end of the day, whatever that looks like, it comes in different genres and whatnot, but it is what it is. I do love the craft very much. So, but Rangers was always very special, and it always will be. I'm so in love with our fandom and just the opportunity we get to this day to just like travel the world sometimes and just be like, hi, and the love and the respect and the toys and the things, the art and the things that people make. I'm like, oh, I get so overwhelmed. I'm like, this is crazy. Like, what?
Yeah.
Wait. And I was also aware that when I was on the show, like, I am making these choices to make Katie this way. It is me. There's no other Katie. There's a Dom, the Dom Ranger. I mean, there's a Dom, but there's no other. I am Katie. So anybody that knows who Katie is, it's like, that's crazy how I created that. Like, that's me, and I'm aware of that. Like, it's very surreal to say the least. And I can't even really like people dress like you. It's like, oh my gosh, like that left an impact. Oh wow, it's such a bigger story than it really is. It's crazy. Like
Yeah.
yeah.
But the question is then, with fan stuff like that, you had your elevator moment with DDP and McFoley. Have you ever been the McFoley and DDP in the elevator with the fan going to you like
You
that?
know what is very interesting? I think that they behaved a lot better than I did. They behaved a lot better than I did because that's why I'm so embarrassed. I'm like, I would never get hired, you guys. I blew my audition. That's just not going to happen. But let me tell you, I have had elevator moments with fans because at these Comic-Cons, we kind of sometimes stay all in the same building. So it's like, you go in and out. But I noticed what I have noticed, and I actually just now realized what's going on because I really didn't know what was happening. But like if I do go in an elevator, because in my everyday life, I'm Deborah. Like I'm not like, is that Katie from like? It's not like I walk around and I have to like hide because they think I'm going to morph and turn into something. That's just not it. But in a Comic-Con weekend, I'm surrounded by people who are clearly, this is my fan base, and it's a whole different experience. And so I'll go in the elevator and I forget what's happening, and I will get the looks and the stares, and I forget why it's happening, and I'm a little confused.
Do I have something in my teeth?
Exactly. I'm a little bit like, did I do something? And then in the elevator, it's more intimate, so it's a little different. And I will notice the main thing that I have seen is people get very quiet. And it's just like you're now in this quiet experience, and I'm wondering if it's something I did or like is something wrong with me. Like it's just everybody just shuts down and nobody says anything. And so that's kind of the vibe I get. So Mick Foley, he got a treat because that was not what he got. I haven't gotten that. No. It's more awkward and just like, let me not look at her. Let's not talk to her, which is really interesting because, like. That's another thing. That's an unspoken rule as an extra in a film. Like there is this unspoken rule to like not talk to the actors and not, look them in the eye and stuff like that. And I understand why that's just because, you don't know what they're preparing for, what they're studying for. You want to give respect. But at the same time, as a human, and I'm going to set and I see somebody who's playing a background actor just standing there feeling they have to put their head down. That's like, no, that's not what we're going to do. So I get it. Like, I don't want people to ever feel like they can't like look you directly into the eyes. You're going to turn into stone or something like, because
don't look at me.
Yeah. Like it kind of makes me feel like, oh no, like you almost feel rejected a little bit where it's like, when it's a reaction, that's kind of like, I don't even want to look at you. It's like, oh no, did I do something wrong?
So famously Rivers Cuomo from Weezer, he will not allow anybody to look him directly in the eye.
What? Who is this?
Yeah, Rivers Cuomo. He's the lead singer of Weezer.
Oh, I don't know this. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not familiar. Wow, really? Is that a thing? Yeah. Is there like an anxiety? Is there like something?
I think it's anxiety from what I understand, but like he will not allow anybody to look him in the eye or speak to him at like shows or anything like that backstage. Wow.
Interesting. See, there's stuff like that where, I don't understand it, but maybe that really is a thing. Performing is scary. Like being known and on a stage or being in a situation like that, it's very scary. It can mentally, depending on your situation. So I wouldn't know, like, especially that's a completely different situation. Like you won't see me performing on a stage. Like that's not my thing, but that could be kind of scary. Like maybe there's something that just happens like when you're locked in and you're performing, like there's a certain thing. Like I'm not that type. Like if I was doing an on stage type of performance, I've had to do a couple of shows where it starts off very heavy, where I'm starting off crying and I'm starting off like really emotional. So I will separate myself from like the cast, the crew, everybody, and just be in my space. And that's understandable. Like everybody has their own thing. But yeah, and then of course you're locked in, and again the crowd and the audience's energy, it helps to like build with what's happening. But yeah, like so I don't know, I guess everybody has their own thing. I mean, that I've never gone that deep with anything, but everybody has their own thing, and that's why the unspoken rule is just don't look them in the eye. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, it's having to deal with, I dealt with as an assistant director with like 20 different extras and trying to keep everyone calm because we had in the the film that we're doing, a decently known guy, and they're all trying to geek out and fan out. I'm just like, look, I understand. We have 3 hours with the guy. We gotta get this taken care of. Afterwards, have at it.
Have at him. He's like, wait. Oh my gosh. Well, that's understandable. Yeah, that would be interesting to like kind of get it under control a little bit. But yeah, no, I mean, it makes sense to have a level of, respect when you're working, when there's a situation like that. But yeah, no, I've never had any major crazy stuff go on like that. But just lots of silence, lots of quietness, lots of like, can I look at you? Like, it's kind of, it's like, oh, like, but it's so funny because when I'm just me in my everydays, like, that's not what happens. But then the moment if somebody finds out I have a helmet, it's like, no, it's like, yeah, look at you. It's like, it's weird to see the switch though. Like, I don't like to tell people in my everyday life, like anything like that, because it is different. Like, you have people who know you, and then you have people who think they know you, I guess. And I like to separate them. And then once they get to know me, then I'll be like, by the way, I used to be on a show. And then sometimes you'll see them change. And now all of a sudden I lost them and they're now over here going, and then it's like, oh my gosh, what happened? So I try not to. Like, I love connecting with people that want to know me. Like, there's something very safe about that. And I feel like, honestly, if I could speak on behalf of anybody, maybe like, I know I'm not the only one that wants that. I think everybody at the end of the day wants to be known for who they are, not necessarily, but then again, this is an industry that really is wrapped around numbers. And I think some people can get lost in the sauce. And so it's kind of, and that could be mentally challenging, like in itself. Like, that's why I choose to stay grounded, just because that could be a lot to just go overnight and just all of a sudden now people think they know you, or now there's an expectation and it's like, but I don't want to disappoint you, but I'm not that cool, or something. Like, are they going to like now all of a sudden be like, okay, I don't want to know her anymore, or whatever. Like,
to like people like us, you are that cool, because the whole thing is like, you have been nerding with us for like the last hour, and I mean, like,
but this is me, and honestly,
right.
Like, if we were just hanging out, like randomly having this conversation just randomly, and you didn't know I was a Power Ranger, we would still be talking just like that.
Exactly. We would be still having the same conversations.
100%.
Yeah.
And because we would be like, oh my gosh, you too. Yeah. Like, that's what I love. I love that vibe. Exactly.
Yeah. And that's what we do with our shows, is that I do the show. I also have a show, Conversation the Void. And it's like we're just meeting for a cup of coffee,
I love that.
Glass of wine, pint of beer, and just
totally
just talking like people,
It is what is necessary in this world. We do need to do that every once in a while, right? Like, I could chat for days too. Like, I'm gonna be like, we need to shut her up already. Like, damn. I'm like, damn, did you even have questions for me? I'm rattling on about all kinds of and Mick Foley.
It's you. It's your life. It's what made you where you are today.
Let me tell you. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Oh yeah. Wait, who's coming in now? Is that me? Like, what's going on? Don't get me started.
So, I mean, for you, with what you're working on, I know live theater is drastically different than being in front of the camera, because you are actually feeding on the energy of your audience. You get the live reactions. Do you have like a preference now after doing both?
God, that is a preference. Okay, honestly, I did fall in love with stage. I'm not gonna lie, because of that feeling. And there's nothing that can replace it. Going back to wrestling, like them coming down the aisle with all that energy. Who wouldn't want that? That is crazy. And it's like, you just turn on for that moment and then boom. Like, so for me, gosh, there's nothing like a live production. I really, really, really fell in love with that. However, I feel like TV and film is just my roots. It's in the, like, I haven't done it in so long. So there's a part of me that's kind of itching to go back into that. But with that is just a whole, it's interesting, like how the business works. Like, when it comes to TV and film, it's a lot more challenging to be a part of TV. And but then you got like the stage stuff. It has it's just very different. Both of them are very different. What I'm doing currently is more immersive theater, so it's not like a stage. Right. It's like I am bringing people into my world, which is so much fun too. Like,
you're doing that in Northern California, right?
Yes, up in Northern Cal. Part of the Northern Cal troupe. So we literally it's just so much fun. I can't even explain it. It's actually called the Murder Mystery Company. We were on Shark Tank. Well, not me personally, but our CEO was on. I'm like, I was on Shark Tank. No, I piggybacked. Our CEO pitched it, and it went really well. We had a guest shark, Jason Blum, and he liked it.
Okay.
So there's been a little bit of a cool like collaboration going on with Blumhouse. So it's been wonderful. We have different troops within the nation. We do some public shows, we do some private shows, and I just have so much fun with it. There's lots of twists and turns. I love that so much. That I feel like when I did my haunt days, that I got my switch on. Like I started learning about the switching of, that's the birth of it. So like when I did my haunt, I got into the element of just kind of getting into my creepiness. But while I was doing that, I had done an on-stage role to be like this demon-possessed woman. So it was like I studied that to do this. Like it was like it worked out. And so I was live doing this production where I was back and forth as myself and switching. So it was like this kind of a switch. So all that to say, with Murder Mystery, we have to switch all the time, where we're hosting as a character and then we might have to come back as somebody else, or there's a lot of twists and turns. I can't really give too much away because it is one of those things where you just have to experience our shows. But it is 100% one of those things where people won't see it coming. Everybody who has had an experience with our shows, it's like you have no idea what you're expecting, and I get so excited for them because it's like I'm like, you're gonna love this. Like I love to entertain them. Like these people are, if it's like, let's just say they're having their 50th anniversary party and they decide to have a murder mystery show, we get to give that to them. And it is so wonderful to be able to just see the looks on their faces of like this satisfied, their guests are having fun. They are shocked at the twists, the turns, the comedy, the drama, oh my gosh, everything that's just what you're not expecting. And it's just a complete wonderful 3-act show that, it's just wonderful. So yeah, I don't know. I've kind of fallen in love with that too. But again, I don't think there's anything like TV and film. I think that in a heartbeat, like at the end of the day, that would be like, I love doing this, but bye. I'm kidding. I'm just kidding. But like, that at the end of the day, it's like,
yeah,
film is like my hurts, but it's very different. Like just even how you carry yourself. It's like you're in front of an audience. You got to be bigger and open and oh my gosh, immersive. You got hecklers to worry about. You got to be witty. You have to learn how to be like, okay, this person's now interrupting the show, so how to turn it back around. Like kind of like wrestling, they got to deal with all the live. You don't know what you're going to deal with. So that's why I love that so much. But of course, with TV and film, there's a lot of protection, lots of redos, lots of retakes, lots of perfection to make things look great. So but I do think the hard work and the people that really dig into the craft and the little, I think it's just experimenting with all these other little genres. It just what creates this. It's kind of like one big workshop for the TV and film world. You know what I mean? You want to give. It's just so much different. Like TV and film, it's more internalized. It's we want to see your soul. Like, we don't want to see you sad. We want you to be sad. You know what I mean? Like there's a difference, and I love to take people there too. Like you want to but then sometimes when you do stage and stuff, you're so big that you want to show them that you're sad. But then it's like, take it down a notch, it's all so much fun. Look at me geeking out more.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's, and that's the thing. Like I always thought, in theater, you play to the back row when it's not in person. And but you play with the to the camera and TV and film, you're playing to the audience, which is the camera.
So intimate. Yes.
Yeah.
And it's so awkward too, because it's like you're having this moment and there's like a whole camera crew watching you like have this very quiet, intimate, embarrassing moment, and they're just all watching. And it's like, versus stage, it's like they set it up for you. You're in that moment. Honestly, I don't know. Theater might be the thing. I'm a theater nerd. It's official. I'm a geek.
You're allowed. It's fine. That's what we're here doing. This is what you're geeking out on, and that's what we want to hear.
Yes.
I'm not gonna lie. I've talked to a couple people that do immersion horror theaters, and I go, you know what? I think I'd like to make a horror movie that's about a horror immersion theater. And a
Oh,
murder that happens, like a serial killer during that.
ooh,
Well, that
you better reach
I love
out.
the
You better
idea.
reach out.
I actually really like the idea of that. That's actually really cool.
I love that idea. Yeah. We'll have
It's
to- yeah.
yeah,
I'm
absolutely.
like, listen.
It's
Wow.
what I do. I'm like, you know what? That'd be a great horror
That
movie.
would be really good. A really good horror movie. Oh my gosh. And you know all of the little things that you could throw in there that not a lot of people would know. I mean, it might expose some of the stuff that you know, but this might be the time to do it. Shoot.
Yeah.
I've seen some stuff. I was like, listen. Yeah. And it's just an opportunity for people to have more respect for that entire business,
Oh yeah. I don't disagree. My other show, I have people that are production designers and artists and stuff that come on too that deal with horror movies because they go, you're the ones that made the scenes. You're the ones that made this, happen.
Right. Oh my gosh, totally. Like there's so much involved. Like, come on now. Like there's a lot involved. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Serena Vincent, she's a Yellow Ranger as well.
Mhm.
She's done a lot of the horror stuff as well. So I know there's some of us that have dabbled in the horror genre. But again, it's so weird because like I'm terrified of horror. I'm like petrified, but I have proven to conquer my fears. Like I terrorized people so much in that hunt. I did. It was like to the point where there was a line for our hunt and they were like, the girl under the table though. It was like known for that because I'd wreck them. I'm like, listen.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think good promoter would be like, what girl under the table?
Oh, oh my God, I love that. At one point, we gave me a pregnant belly. It was so weird. It was so weird. I was like, what are we doing right now? Like, we got crazy with it. And then
That sounds even more creepy. This is like
it was so creepy. And then it was like to go to like our little break room, like we'd have to walk through the park to get to this spot. So we're in character, walking over there and people would be like, it was just so much fun to interact with people like that. It was so much fun. People want to take pictures and it's like, this is my time. I could be like kind of rude but because it's like, I'm a monster. Don't talk to me. Like, but it was like, it was really funny though. On our last day, and I was really sad because this was it. It was like the last day I was going to be moving and I couldn't do it. And it was so fun to connect with that world and to really like, see what they do and appreciate them for what they do. So this is their world. They connect all the time. This is like their family. So it was cool to be accepted for that moment. And when I was in the dressing area, like where we would hang out and get into our characters, I overheard somebody talking about Power Rangers. One of the actors talking to another actor about like JDF and this, and I'm like, my ears were like dink. Like I was like, oh my God. And again, I have my costume on, my wigs on. I always wore my wig, even like when I got to the park, like I would in the car, I put the wig on because I didn't want. I just in case anybody did recognize that I was Katie or people in my neighborhood, people at my church, they were like, wait, what are you doing? Like I wanted to just like hide. So there was a reason for it. But
right.
I heard Power Rangers. I was like, my ears were like, what? And so I was like, I want to say it, but I can't because we're in the middle of this and I don't want the word to get out. It's too soon. So on the very last day, when I was leaving and saying goodbye to people, I saw the guy and he was we were in two different worlds too. Like he was like a street performer and I was, and I would never talk to this person, and he looked really serious too. He was like, but when he was talking about Power Rangers, like he kind of softened a little bit, which is always so cute. I love to see when I'm at Comic-Cons, these grown men, I see their little boy, like they come in and they're just like little kids again. And I'm like, wow, like it's just so interesting how it's just I see everyone's other side. It's so funny. They soften all of a sudden. So anyways, all that to say, we were about to cross each other's paths. Like, and I was like, I have to tell him who I am because I know he knows Power Rangers. So he comes like he wasn't going to even, he was like, angry and talking and in character. And I go, excuse me. And he's like, what? Like, yeah. And I was like all scared and intimidated. And I go, do you watch Power Rangers? And he got all like embarrassed and like, why? Like, why? I go, oh, no. I overheard you mention something about Power Rangers. I just wanted to let you know that I actually played Katie from Time Force. He went crazy, like his eyes. Little boy, it was the cutest thing. It's like he just lit up, and he goes, my birthday is the same birthday as Jason Funk. Like he was just like he started to just turn into this soft little boy, and I was like, oh my god, and it was just so cute, and I was like so glad I did that. And so then I want to say months later, maybe like almost a year later, Power Morphicon in Pasadena happens. He comes to my table. And it was a full circle moment. He's like, do you remember me? And I'm like, oh my gosh. And so we totally like took our pictures together, and it was like so cool because now it was like the flip side. But like he never would have known I was Katie if I didn't tell him. And it was really cool to have that like wall break and be like, what is Katie doing in the hot world? What the hell is going on here? Like I'm like, oh, did I just break an illusion? Damn, I probably shouldn't have.
I was gonna say we're familiar with Power Morphicon. We actually just this last Power Morphicon, we hosted the Red Ranger panel.
Did you? Oh my gosh, the last one. Oh my god. Okay, you both hosted that. That must be so good.
I wasn't there. I'm in Chicago. So.
Oh, you're in Chicago. You're like
a
this.
Distance nearity. Yeah, our show we hosted it.
Oh, that is so cool. Yes, Red Rangers. Oh my gosh. That must have been wild. For Power Morphicon, was that a year where there was a lot of Red Rangers? I'm sure there were because everybody goes to Power Morphicon.
Well, I think we had 13 Rangers on stage.
Oh my gosh!
Minus Austin, who was at the show, but he didn't participate in that panel. And of course, JDF wasn't. You know, he had just passed away, so we didn't do JDF. But we hosted the Red Ranger panel. This was last year, I think.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Yes. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I mean, we're a bunch of Ranger nerds too. So I mean, you know.
I love that. Okay, well that works out. Woof. We have that in common, and the wrestling thing, and the haunting. Oh gosh.
We just got a lot of things in common. So.
We really kind of do. Yeah. I know. I'm like, I'm just saying.
Now, do you have a morpher with you that you keep at all times?
Well, I don't have it on me now, but I do have one that I use for Comic-Cons, but like no, I don't just like put it on. And like, you know, maybe I should start doing that. My life would be a little different if I
just walk around with your morpher all the time.
Just get that superhuman strength on and be like, listen, out of my way. Things would be so much different if I did. But no, I do have mine for we've been gifted so many wonderful things from fans over the years. Let me tell you, because they didn't give us anything. I'm going to be real. Like, we didn't get anything from the show. I think we were allowed to grab a couple pieces of wardrobe, but they didn't give us our original outfits. So we really didn't get anything. So all that.
And you don't have the yellow dress?
I don't have the yellow dress. I don't. I saw a comment on that where people are like, I wonder where that went. That's a very good point. I don't know. Actually, I think it disintegrated because the wardrobe stylist, Danielle, the one who put it together, it was made out of a fabric that was very fragile. Like she actually created this dress. And I don't remember this, but she brought it to my attention that as we were filming that scene, by the end of it, it was like coming into pieces. Like, so it probably doesn't exist anymore.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it fell apart. It fell apart. But it was like made out of that material that you would like put like a wedding veil. Like it was like very, I don't know the name, but it was like a very fragile piece of material. But yeah, no, we didn't get to keep any of that. I grabbed like some Daisy Dukes and like some, like I should have gone for the Gusto. There was like, they were destroying our set. Pieces from like the clock tower. I like grabbed a couple of pieces of debris, put it in my pocket. I was like, no, that was so sad. That was a sad day. Oh my God. It was really sad. That was really hard. It was like, that was a day I was dreading from the day I started. I was like, this is the day I don't want is that last day. It was really sad.
Do you have a hard time wearing yellow?
Oh my God. Do I have a hard time wearing yellow?
Yeah.
You know what? I have a lot of yellow stuff. And I think because when I was on the show, it was like, you know, my mom would be always like, here, like, you know, moms are proud. So it'd be like, here, everything's yellow. Everything's yellow. Then when I started doing Comic-Cons, you kind of want to be in the yellow because you want you know, but then I found out from OG Rangers that it's the cool ones just wear whatever they want. Like, you don't have to wear color. Like, what are you doing? And but I still like to wear my color yellow, but I kind of switch it up a little bit. Maybe one day I'll like throw the, like on day Sunday, like I'll be like, here's your yellow, you know, but like there's a lot.
Unless you're Walter, who just comes and plays music, and he's like the coolest guy in existence.
I mean, he's so cool. I love Walter. He's so cool. Just the sweetest. I am honestly so grateful for the relationships, the friendships I have with these guys. I love my Ranger family. I have had the privilege to get to know Mighty Morphin. Like, these are my friends. Like, they are like, we were working on a project a long time ago that unfortunately fell through, but that's where I got to meet a lot of them, and it just was such an honor. Like, I was in the presence of greatness. I might not have watched the show as a kid, but when I got on the show, I had a massive respect for where I was coming from and what they have done for us. They had paved a way that we are all so grateful for today. I had the privilege to have a couple of quick chats with JDF over the course of time. Lexington, that one where the McFoley humiliated experience, JDF was actually there. And that was the second time I had met him, and he was so sweet. And I remember he was getting ready to leave, and he comes and he gives me, he had such respect for all the Rangers, and he gave me a hug, and he just was so sweet. And I got to chat with him a few times throughout the experience. So that was obviously very devastating, but within the Ranger family, I have so much respect for these guys. I love them so much. And it's always so much fun to do like big shows where we're all there and we get to just have our time together, and with the fans, it's just so much fun. Atlanta was just crazy. Like, we had the best time. I'm still buzzing from that experience. It was amazing. So cool. So
yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
I mean, if Saban calls you tomorrow and says, "Hey, Katie's coming back,"
well, I would say, get ready. I would be like, let's go. You never know. I don't know if that would ever happen, but I would consider it. Power Rangers is my roots. I wouldn't put my identity in it, but it is a huge part of my experience, and I have mad respect for it. And if it were something that were to be like, hey, she was from the future, so she is coming back to do something, I don't know, I would be open to it. I think my whole cast would be open to it, to be honest. I feel like if anybody really could have a featured, like, a comeback that would make sense, would be Time Force. I mean, we kind of, we could kind of do that. I think we're all very connected today, in today's time. Like, we're a tight-knit group. And I think it would be easy for them to do. It's very simple. Like, we're very tight. We're a close group, and it wouldn't be hard to do. So it would make sense. But I think the fans would have to really want it. But who knows? Like, honestly, the fans have the power here. It's really not about us. It's not about any of that. I think if the fans wanted something, they could make it happen. We wouldn't be doing Comic-Cons if it weren't for the fans. I wouldn't have my Morpher if it weren't for the fans. I wouldn't have my helmet if it weren't for the fans. I wouldn't have that. None of us would. And I think that fans are very powerful, and it doesn't matter what genre it is. Power Rangers, we have the best fan base ever. I'm just biased, sorry, but I'm sure.
But it's true. It's true. And the other thing is,
really do.
The other thing is I can see it happening. I can see them bringing your entire cast back. It's mainly because Jason still has a lot of pull. Like, fans love Jason.
I love Jason for especially. I'm so proud of my cast. Like, I'm so proud of who I got to work with. Like, Jason is amazing, and he's really taken really good care of his cast by creating such love for our season and doing the things and keep coming back and doing all of that. And then you've got Erin, who is just a ball of sunshine and just she leaves such an impact with everything she does. I'm so blessed to have had those two incredible stars on my season. And like, you're right. If they really wanted to, they could.
Well, because next to Austin, Jason is probably the most beloved Red Ranger out of everybody. So it's like, well, I mean, I'd take JDF out of that, because JDF was he was also Red Ranger for a little while too.
Right.
But I mean, like as far as like people who were definitively the Red Ranger,
Right.
after Austin St. John, everybody always gravitates towards Jason Faunt. So I mean, like,
Yeah.
you know, it makes sense to bring Time Force back, and if they were to do that and bring all you guys back, you know,
Yeah. They really, really could. And honestly, I used, when we were on the show, I really did think it was going to go for another season. There was a lot of speculation, a lot of rumors. I think there were even petitions. Like, I don't know. I didn't get too caught up because I knew I didn't want to get my hopes up and then be devastated that we couldn't do it.
Right.
But and it was so weird because it was like all of a sudden, bye, like, what? But there was so much talk about it. What happened?
Saban's reputation is just to do it that way. But I mean, like,
yeah, and just even like give us a movie or something, which I thought they were gonna do, like at least a film, and just no, it didn't happen. And then I just feel like we really had such a great season, but the timing was so off. Like, we had to deal with the strike from SAG, and the tragedy of 9/11 was really impacted our season because it was a lot. Because obviously we had to be very sensitive to buildings blowing up and coming down and things like that. And one of my featured episodes in particular had me in a building with a helicopter or something. I remember the original footage was something slammed into the building, and then the guy gets stuck in the elevator, and there was a whole scene. But I think they had to change the footage because it was insensitive with all of that. So there was a lot that happened in that time where the reruns of our show, they couldn't air it as much as if it were a regular situation because of that. And it was like the filming schedule was more intense because of the strike. So we had a lot going against us, but it turned out being a very beloved season. And it years later, we're seeing the blessing and the benefits of like having been on that season. Like, it's coming back around. YouTube and Netflix have really, the Netflix, oh my gosh, like when that came on Netflix, it just kind of resurrected the whole passion again. Like, everybody was like, you get to see all the series, and Time Force really kind of took off there because it was like, it is so different than a lot of the seasons. And because it was, I really truly think it was supposed to be an opportunity to kind of venture off into something, but it just never happened. So all that to say, let's now. No,
well, I grew up on Power Rangers. I had my kids watch Power Rangers and stuff like that. And, there's, I don't remember the YouTube channel, but there's a Ranger Theory show. And they talk about Time Force in particular, that Time Force could literally show up in every time frame. That Time Force is the glue that holds the entire series together.
But pressure now. Wait, what? We're holding it together? That's all that pressure. Look at me. I didn't want all that pressure. Now look. Come on. I'm kidding. Katie's holding it together. I'm kidding. Far from it. Oh my gosh. Wow. But I mean, when you're dealing with time travel, you do have a lot to play with. And if they want to do, they could. What is actually going on with Power Rangers now? Does anybody know? Is it done? Is it over? Do we know?
No. It's. I know something else came out. I know there's still talks about the grittier version, and now Jason Blum. So why don't you have Jason Blum do a horror Time Force?
Oh my God! Hello, wink, wink. I know. I know. A horror. Could you imagine? Oh my gosh, that would be
a horror Power Rangers reboot.
Yes.
Did they ever do that? Well, no, they had Alien Rangers. I don't know if that was horror though. I don't think. We had Psycho Rangers, right?
Psycho Ranger, who? Oh my God, that's
yeah. We had some Psycho Rangers, but I mean,
the last series was in 23, and it was
Cosmic.
It was Cosmic Fury. Yeah.
So, but that was in 23, and then they went on for 3 seasons. They were like the only one that went on for 3 seasons. Like, everybody wanted their season to be, let's go for 3. We only had one, but it was like one long one. Like, I guess we didn't have like mega Time Force or anything like that.
There's no current TV show, but the Boom Comics is doing a run right now with a whole comic series. So they're doing Power Rangers Prime right now. Actually, I don't know if friend of the show, if one of our friends is actually writing that. Let me see. Let me check.
Really?
I think so.
Well, because she was writing everything last time I checked. I don't know if she's still writing it, because I know she's writing all of the All right, here.
A continuation of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, right?
Well, not Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. She's doing this comic series is, but she is currently doing all of the stuff for Nacelle Studio.
Oh, well.
Yeah, I know, right?
Wow. The never-ending series. It's like, hey, it's all good. I enjoyed it, and who knows what's going to happen. But I think Time Force is open for a little reunion. That would be nice. Actually, speaking of reunion, I think our 25th is coming up. Yeah. Gosh, oh, did I age myself? Oh my God, it's been 25 years. Oh my God. No, it's like hitting me. I'm like, that's a long time.
It's okay. You're still 26. It's fine.
Oh, it's Time Force. What are you talking about?
Exactly.
I'm just gonna go right back to 2001. Thank you. Oh my gosh, time flies. But
yeah. I mean, what were the shooting days like for that? You know, notoriously the first couple seasons of Power Rangers was hectic to say the least.
It was a lot. We worked a lot. We worked Monday through Friday. I want to even say some Saturdays, and it was. I would say myself and Kevin, we were early call times because he had the prosthetics, he had the hair, I had the hair. And it was like 4:30 a.m. call times. We would easily wrap at like maybe 6 p.m. Sometimes it would go, if we had a night shoot, it would start like, be at the set at like 7 p.m. and it would go through in the early morning or whatnot. So it was really a lot. It was a lot. Whether you were with a first unit or second unit, it was a very grueling schedule. There was a little hiatus, I remember, I think during the holidays, where we had some time off. They had some reruns play. That was nice, but then we got right back to it. I enjoyed it though. It wasn't work at all. It was playtime. We would always chase and be like, okay, time to play. Like, we would just be like, it was playtime. I can't complain. I mean, I am a little bit of an insomniac, so sleep was kind of a problem. But to me, we were having so much fun, and what we did was so wonderful that I'll sleep when I'm dead. Like, let's go. I got work to do here. This doesn't happen every day.
I just checked right now. So Melissa Flores is writing Power Rangers right now.
Melissa, okay. So we're still going. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So it's a little hiatus.
Which, I mean, Melissa Flores actually wrote for the show and for the games and things like that. So,
nice.
Friend of the show. She's been on the show twice. So it's like she's Melissa's still writing Power Rangers right now.
Oh, wonderful. So we're back in business.
Yeah.
That is good to know.
Now, you obviously had the dub and do ADR for the Super Sentai. What was that like for you? Was that a different type of acting you hadn't done?
It was different. It was, but it was another experience. It was like, I learned about the whole ADR, the little beeps, beep, 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 and then you say your lines. And of course, with Power Rangers, I guess it was easier than, certain animations because the mouthpiece isn't moving, so it's not like the mouth. So that's
you have to do mouth flaps.
You would imagine, but that's actually not true because we did have to voice over some of our. If there was a helicopter, or, a plane or something we'd have to like do it over. So I've had to dub it before, but it was a whole different experience in itself, and it was fun to be able to like do that. That was always like, oh yeah, I got to do my ADR now, and it was like. I miss our little studio. It was like we had everything. Where our little ADR upstairs over here and then down there. It was just, those were the days. And then it moved to a different country. It was like, but it was what it was. But like everything was in its own little place and section, and it was a lot of fun. But I did enjoy the ADR. That was a whole nother little avenue. A little awkward doing the fight noises and the gruntings, and Katie looking like a dude because they used Japanese footage. So. And then there would be times where my voice would blow out because, lots of hours, and I would have like this raspy, deep voice. And here's Katie looking like a guy. And people, is Katie all right? Like, so it was a little interesting, but I'm lots of kias. Like I miss my kia days. Kia. It was fun though. Oh my gosh, I have a flashback. You know what? Thank you for bringing this up because now every time I'm on a panel, people will ask us things, and I always say the same stories, and I always forget about stuff. Thank you. I'm remembering something that we used to do, because they would always say, what pranks did happen on the set? What pranks this? What? And it's always the same stories, because I can't remember. I blacked out a lot of them, but I am now remembering some very crazy pranks that, once again, courtesy to Mr. Font and Michael.
I can see that. I can
Oh,
see that with Jason, because, like, again, when we talk to him, he just seems like that kind of person. So it's like,
amazing. There's no one like him. There's no one like him. And I remember now. I do have an active imagination, but this actually did happen, right? Because I remember, like, when we would have our ADR schedules, whenever Jason would go before any of us, he would like, they would have like mock skits, or like it would be like, here's the scene, we need you all to voice over.
Yeah.
Whether it's Red Ranger, Green Ranger, whatever is happening in the scene, like, hey Katie, we need your help, da 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 da, and then I add mine. Anytime Jason was first, he would add lines that were just, what are you saying right now? Like little things that were just, oh, Katie, I like something that's just like you wouldn't say. Like, it just was so funny. And then it would be like my turn in the ADR booth, and it's like it's like it was a practical joke for me to like land. And now I'm like, what are you, Jason? And then, of course, you know, Scott Page would be like, okay, I'm just kidding. Here's the real footage. But like, they would do things like that all the time. And I remember, I'm having a memory of that. I must have blacked it out until just now. I'm like, oh my God, I remember that. Or like, oh, like, you know, it's little jokey joke. I can't get into it, because those boys, I'm telling you, those boys are too much. I love them.
Yeah, with your lines today, I'm just curious if you know, did you watch the footage they were using? Did it give you, like, take any notes from what happened in the show to convey what's happening to you for your lines?
Oh, so you mean like as we were live filming it? Like,
yeah,
I'm just
no, for like,
like
when you're ADR.
yeah. Yeah, for your
yes,
ADR. Yeah. Did you guys
right.
did they ever take like the storylines from the Japanese show and you go, okay, this is what your character is doing in this?
Yes. Like sometimes we would use the Japanese footage for our footage. Like if they didn't have, like, if it's like, honestly, if it was going to save them time and money to just use that, they will. And they did. So, you know, then I would have to voice what he was doing. So a lot, believe me, if Katie's looking butch, chances are that's the Japanese, that's Time Ranger footage for sure. That's how I would always know. But if Katie has a little pep to her step when she's walking, then you know that's our footage. But Katie always gives it away. But yeah, it's usually if it was their footage, and then we would just kind of, you know, they would tell us what to say. We'd have the little lines, the sides, and then we would do our little thing, minus the shenanigans in the beginning when the boys are playing practical jokes and games. Well, I could do it, but always such good times. Like, honestly, I had the best time with these guys. Like, laughter is everything. I couldn't imagine working with anyone else. I really couldn't. Like, thank God. I'm so grateful. Like, we laughed a lot. We laughed a lot.
That's good though, because that makes for a set to be fun.
Oh my God, seriously, and it keeps us young. I'm like, listen, that's why Time Force is timing. Like we're laughing. We're too busy laughing. We had a good time, but it made it a lot of fun. It wasn't work at all. It was playtime, and we learned a lot. We laughed a lot. We supported each other, and yeah, it was a very collaborative thing. It was such a great, like, first big gig, you know, to do. I really enjoyed it.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's just I can imagine that the time that went into it, but yeah, I mean, it shows though, like, you know, it's you said almost 25 years later, and everyone, you know, we're 30 years of Power Rangers. Everyone's still talking about it, I think, and I don't think it's ever going away.
I had no idea. Like, back then, you're not going to think something like that's going to be. I mean, we didn't have social media. We didn't know any. We didn't have. All we had was a newspaper back then.
Right.
We had the LA Times, and we were so excited when we made it in the LA Times, and they're like, the ratings of Power Ranger went up, and we're like, oh, look at us, we're there. That was cool. We would get fan mail. That was actual mail. Like, it would go to our our studio. Like, our studio was so cute. I miss it. It was like, we had like upstairs section. Oh God. And of course they had to go through the mail first before they gave it to us, because, you know, people, it just was what it was. Yeah, but it was cool. Like, we would get actual tangible mail, and it was like, people are watching us. Like, we couldn't tell that anybody cared, because we didn't know. And then before you know it, it was done and over with. And things went on, and it wasn't until like I think I want to say like 14 years later for me, because Jason, Aaron, I think Michael, they were doing some Comic-Cons before I knew about it, and I had no idea that this was a thing, and I was like, really, people watched us and they remember us? They remember us though? I had no idea what was going on. And it wasn't until our 14th anniversary they got us together. Like there was a reunion in Texas, and they tracked me down, which was hard to do because I was nowhere to be found. I was like, if you don't have my old email, then you're not going to find me. I was never on social media. What's that? Like I didn't do any of that stuff. And Erin was the one that found me. She texts my email and she's like, is this you? And I'm like, oh, is this you? Wait, what? And it was like crazy. And I was like, what's going on? And she told me about what all this was, and I was like, what is this? Like I didn't know, and I was not a traveler. I was not somebody who takes planes, and I had my son was like 1 year old. I was like, you want me to wait, people want me to sign things for them? Like I was confused, like what is this? And so I spoke to the promoter because he was very serious about getting us together, and I was really like, I don't know if I want to do this. And then when he told me about the fan base and how they really how they felt, like I was touched, and I was like, I'm gonna bite the bullet and I'm gonna do this. And so I went, and I was so emotional that entire weekend. I was like, what is happening? Like I couldn't believe that people watched us. I couldn't believe that the show I did that I knew I loved, I knew I was having a good time, I knew this was magical, I didn't know other people knew that too. And it was so amazing. And then my life was kind of like, it just, everything shifted, and I just was like, what's happening? And it just was so cool to be able to.
Dude, Ranger fans are rabid.
I love it. It's the only way to be. Like, come on. No, it was amazing to just see like the stories, and just hearing their stories, and how they've been inspired. And I'm like, oh my God, you were watching me when I did that thing a long time ago? Like, really? So yeah. It's truly an honor. I still can't even believe it. Like, I'm just like, I just was the girl that wanted to be a wrestling ballet. What happened? Like, I know. How are my chances now? That's all I want to know.
I think you can do it. I honestly think you can do it. Yeah.
I mean, Phil does know a lot of people in the wrestling world.
Ooh, well, I think
a few people.
Really sick. I may have some footage of this. Well, there was a Comic-Con. I need to go dig this archive footage. I'm not somebody who's really up to date with like I don't do the whole. I'm really bad. I'm trying to get better with like Instagram and just like posting and things like that. I don't really do all of that, but I may or may not have been in a wrestling ring before. I may or may not have experienced getting in a ring. I might have to find this footage and post it. But it was at a Comic-Con, and there was this wrestling experience that happened, and it was right in front of me. And I was so excited because it was like a wrestling ring, and I got front row seats, and I was like, what? And at first I thought it was going to be like cosplayers just like having fun, and just, I was going to jump in there and just be like, yeah, let's go. But no, this was like a real wrestling experience with like heels and heroes and women wrestling. And I was like, what is happening? So I like stopped my table. I was like, you guys, we're going to go watch wrestling. Let's go. We all went together, front row seats. And I was like, yeah, it's going crazy. And they stopped the show. Well, they didn't stop the show. I'm exaggerating, but it turns out that one of the headliners of that event, they asked me if I wanted to come down as a valet. I died. I was like, and maybe because I was holding my helmet, maybe I was hinting too much. Like I was like holding the helmet. Maybe they were like,
was it Sir Samurai?
It was like desperate energy was seeping out of my pores. But I was like, yes. And I had my purse on. I was like, should I take my purse off? Like, this is so weird. I honestly don't remember. Did I have my purse on? Oh my God, I can't remember. Okay. So anyways, I did that, and it was so cool. And I came out, and it was like, I was part of the show for like a minute. So I might've blacked that out because it was so exciting. So I kind of had a little bit of that experience. I might have to find that footage and like figure out what I'm going to do with it. Because that's like my moment.
Somewhere on the internet, Graveyard also has backyard wrestling. So I
do.
Do you?
I do.
Oh my God.
When YouTube started, because I was a backyard wrestler,
You were? Excuse me?
And we recorded everything we did for years.
Yo.
And so we when YouTube was only 10 minutes at max, we started uploading our stuff to YouTube back in 2007. And
Yes.
That's where the name Graveyard comes from.
it is. That's my wrestler name.
That's your. Why are you not telling me that? I was a kid? Oh my God! Excuse me. You did this because you didn't want me to start like fanboying and going crazy. Like, oh my God!
Like it all tied into like my going to drama theater because before wrestling, I did Taekwondo and I played D&D. So getting the character acting and stuff like that led into that.
I get you. I do. I understand. That is amazing. And thank you for your service because that's a toll on the body. There is no, like, I feel like I might have more respect for wrestlers than I do with like a lot of things. Like, I'm like, oh my God, because it's just such a sacrifice. It hurts. I mean, like, that's a lot of blows that are taken. And these women wrestlers, oh my God, like they're so gorgeous making it. I see, this is why I would blow it. I'm goofy. Like I would be like, it wouldn't be.
That's the thing is you can be goofy now. You can be.
I could be goofy now. Oh my God, maybe I should be just that goofy girl that just comes down, trips on things. Like I thought I was gonna fall.
So like Liv Morgan right now, she just did an interview recently talking about how she got discovered, and she was literally a waitress at Hooters.
Oh my God, should I be a waitress at Hooters?
Well, like she was a waitress at Hooters, and it was Hooters in Florida, and she like basically she was just a massive wrestling fan, and there was a wrestler that she didn't say who it was, but there was a wrestler who would come into the restaurant all the time, and one of the managers at Hooters was like, "Dude, you should hook her up with the tryout because all she ever talks about is wrestling." So he goes, "All right, well, I'm not going to get you a tryout, but I'm going to get you in touch with this coach." And it was a strength training coach. He does like NFL combines and stuff like that. But like, basically she was like, "I'm not going to give up on this." And she just like put her, 110% of everything she had into doing that. And when it came to doing a tryout, she went and did a tryout, and they liked the work ethic that she had. So they gave her a chance, and she's now Liv Morgan, who is I want to say she's a 5-time champion right now.
Oh my God, that's amazing. What an amazing, I love that story. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I love stuff like that. Come on. That's amazing. I'm living vicariously right now. I'm just like, listen.
I'm just saying you could be a wrestler.
I don't know about that though.
You could be a valet. You could be a valet. Like,
could you imagine Katie getting into WWE? What would the Power Ranger?
Dude, what if you? What if you came in as a Power Ranger though? Like,
I should totally just come in as a Power Ranger. That's my thing. I just come in and then I morph, and then it's like, well, she's not that strong after all. Oh my God.
I mean, but there's even not a wrestler, there's promoters. You can be the manager.
I wouldn't want to necessarily wrestle. I'm telling you, when I tell you the goofiness, like, listen, look how much did Katie fight on the show? Exactly. And you know what? In my defense, they had shoes. I had shoes that were like clogs, but because I had to be taller than some of the boys because the Japanese footage, Dom was obviously taller, so they had to match it. So I was running and fighting in heels pretty much the entire season. So it's very awkward. And I'm not a heel walker. I don't know how women do it. Bless your heart. It is like a bunion waiting to happen. And it's just so painful and awkward. And I'm so clumsy at it. Like I'm the goofiest person in heels. So I goofed it out for a whole season on Power Rangers. And so anytime I try to be cool with my fights, it just had like this goofiness to it. And they're like, you know what, just throw things. Let's just make her strong. And it broke my heart because, again, the wrestler in me just didn't get fulfilled. It was like, oh, I wanted that. So I wanted to look cool. And then you got these gorgeous divas that are like whipping the hair around, and they just look so beautiful. And they just look goofy. Goofy right here, Goofy Katie. I don't know if it would make it. Like I think I would be better off as like a manager, like a valet that every once in a while she gets knocked out, but then like some big strong wrestler carries her out and she's damsel in distress. That's my character right there. Let's go. That's
it. I can tell you from backyard wrestling, our when our faces are seen, we were professional, serious wrestlers. When we were jobbers, we had crazy characters nonstop because you were behind the mask and didn't matter.
Yeah. I love that. That must have been so much fun because honestly, and I have so much respect. Backyard wrestling, like damn, like that. You guys really take a hit, and that's passion, right?
Oh,
there.
They were taking some bumps.
I got major concussions. So.
Oh my god, the sacrifices! But I mean, that's love and passion, and it's just so much work. But you know what? It's I have mad respect. I don't care what level of it. It's just I know when you're taking those hits, it is appreciated. Thank you. Thank you.
I was just saying, backyard wrestlers took some bumps. There were some bumps that they took that you go back and watch those videos and it's like, oh my God, man, you guys were murdering.
Like seriously. And that's what people want to see, the blood and the like the ECW. Remember that? Does that still exist?
ECW.
Oh my God. I was so hardcore into wrestling back then. Oh my gosh. Like, yeah, I don't know what it was, but there's a community. There are people that are into that. I mean, it's just there's something about it. It's a lot of fun. The storylines. Oh, I know Al Snow. Didn't he have like a reality show or something? I saw recently.
It's called The Wrestlers, and it was on Netflix.
Love that. Oh, that was so good. It really got deep. He was so passionate about.
It's funny. So there's two things we do at a lot of shows, right? Especially like if I'm trying to find somebody, like like say we have somebody in our crew that I can't find, right? Yeah. One of the things we do is and then somebody will just go like that.
Whoa!
But then also what does everybody want? And then somebody go head.
Oh my God, Al Snow. Oh my gosh. No, I love it. I'm telling you, it has its own community because just like that, certain chants, people will know what to say or what to do. And it's just like this vibe. It's such a happy place where you could just you're with like-minded people that are just crazy like you. You know what I mean? It's all good. And it's wonderful. It's wonderful. I love it. It goes hand in hand with, I don't know. Maybe Power Rangers wrestling. I don't know, but it does. It's similar fan base. I mean, I think
very much so.
Yeah.
So we're gonna jump into some wrap up questions here because we had so much fun that it's like, oh man, we're coming up on time. So I'm gonna ask you some of the hardest questions you've ever been asked in your life.
This is the hard part.
Yeah, this is the hard part right here. Okay. Number one, what is your favorite kind of taco?
Ooh, I would say asada, green sauce. I like the green.
Okay, I'm with you on that.
Yeah, I would say asada tacos or chicken tacos. I like. Yeah.
There we go. What's some advice you might have for anyone trying to get into the industry? So not necessarily a ranger, but someone trying to kind of like follow a similar career path. They want to get into acting or they want to get into even getting in on stage. Like what's some quick advice you might have for somebody?
I would say to study. There's so many ways to study. You could study with a friend and do some scene studies and like pull up scripts online and just really do character development and break characters down and really work on scene study because that's at the end of the day the most important thing. And then from there, so many things are online. Like I would say put a online profile in like your local town or city or wherever you are and just start submit to agents, submit to different projects because sometimes people, if you have the talent because you've been studying and you put up your little your audition tape, you might be the person they're looking for rather than somebody who's with a huge agent or something like that. But I would definitely say study. Maybe even take a class here and there, but sometimes you don't want to take a class. I would just say like read lines with somebody. Yeah.
I like that. That's good. Good. What's next for you? Do you have any shows coming up? Any and like between Comic Cons and doing the immersion theater, what's something that's next for you?
Right now, I do have a couple of immersion theater shows coming up. They're both public up here, up north. Napa has a train that has wine, like a wine train, but they do murder mystery shows on it. So I actually have one of those coming up very soon. And just like some other little gigs that are local. So that's what I have going on now, which I love. But we are going to be getting into our busy season as I want to say like September or October, like people are going to want holiday shows. So that's kind of what I'm focused on now. But like I had mentioned, I am getting the itch to dabble back into like TV and film. So I'm open to that. And I feel like right now I'm kind of, after my son gave me permission to get back in the business, because I spent 12 years raising him. And now it's like, okay, I think I'm ready to like get back into business. Because the business is one of those things where you have to, it's a sacrifice, you know, like if you're all in, you got to be committed. You can't just be in and out like me. But it's one of those things where I feel like I might be ready to get back in. So we'll see what happens. But for right now, I do have my little immersive gigs coming up. And Comic-Cons, I don't have anything lined up, but I know our 25th anniversary is coming up, so we don't know what's going to happen when that rolls around and if things are going to be lined up. So it remains to be seen. So we'll see. We'll see.
All right.
I'm a lot weird. I might just pop up somewhere.
We'd be okay with that. So I'm going to ask you another hard question here. Okay.
Sure.
All right. Who wins in a fight?
Me.
Katie Walker.
I was like, me.
All right. Yeah. Well, I mean, even then, it might be the same answer at the end of this. So,
ooh, okay. So Katie Walker.
Katie Walker, okay. Trini Kwan, or Aisha Campbell.
Oh man, you can't be adding all the OGs up in the mix. Gosh, oh my God. This is a tough one. Could it be like where one looks like they're winning, but then the other one, it's like, God, can we work together? Do we have to fight each other? Oh my God.
Because the end is, you know, who wins in a fight.
Well,
maybe it's a sparring match. So it's not like, you know,
Katie,
there's no stakes to the fight.
So Katie has a really big heart. Is as much as she could probably take anybody out. We would have to be friends at the end of this. Like, we'd have to be like, I'm beating the crap out of everyone. And then it's like, all right, I put Trini's arm up, like, yeah, or I don't know. I don't know if Katie would want to take the win, to be honest. Like, she probably would, but I don't know if she would want to take the win. Gosh, that's a horrible answer.
Say Wong in the chat said, "Oh, of course it's Time Force. Come on."
Oh, they said it, not me.
he said specifically, the Herculean strength that Katie has is her advantage.
Oh, yes, thank you. Okay, we'll take it. I'll be the Hercules of the Power Rangers. Thank you very much.
You kind of are. So I mean, like,
I kind of am. That's not a lie. Like, actually, I know. Like, what's up with that? Like, I should be the strongest Ranger ever, right?
Right.
But I've heard, like, you Google it and other names come up, I think. I've asked Alexa. She don't know what she's talking about.
We'll have to just put that in there a lot more so the chat can find it.
I know. Katie just, she really, bless her heart, she tried it. It was the goofy shoes, guys. It was the shoes. The shoes did it.
Oh, that's okay. The first name that pops up is Lord Draken, and it's like, really, Lord Draken?
Oh.
Come on, dude. I mean, did you even count?
I mean, but historically speaking, like even on Friends, which was my favorite show on the planet, there was an episode where they were like, who's the strongest Ranger? Like, to somebody. And then I was like, me. I did. I was like, it was me. But that was before I was ever a Power Ranger. But now when I see that episode, I'm like, it's me. But I guess it's not. It's Lord Draken. Is he a Power Ranger?
He was at one point. So that's the whole thing is he
I had superhuman strength. Hello.
Yeah.
I would like to challenge that right now.
Actually. I think we're going to challenge that because
at some point.
I understand where they're going for Lord Draken because Lord Draken's technically not human. So it's like,
but neither was Katie.
Yeah.
But Lord Draken
Actually,
never appeared in a live action show, so therefore he doesn't count. How about that?
yeah, I agree. Yeah, but actually, speaking of superhuman strength, why was Katie so damn strong? Does anybody have this answer? Because I don't know. What was it, like AI stuff? Was she like a mutant? Like, I don't know. Okay, we can get down the rabbit hole on that. I really don't know. Who is her father? Rancic? Like, what's going on? The story that has never been told. We have so many opportunities to do like another series because really, where did she get her strength from? Whatever. Anyways.
So real quick before we go into pluggables here, I'm going to show everybody progress. So let's show everybody where we're at. So I got the drummer done.
What in the world? Wait a minute. Were you doing this entire time?
The entire time.
From like scratch?
No, it's a kid. Everybody where we were at. So this is, that's
amazing.
We've got the bassist, of course, the trumpet player here.
Oh my gosh. Look at you.
And I'm currently working on the grand piano. So this is what I've got done with the grand piano.
Oh, I love it. Ooh, that's amazing. Look at that grand piano.
Right, of course,
awesome.
That it sits on. So that's where we're at for this week. We should be done with this one next week. So I'm probably going to be getting into the surprise kit, guys, which I'm very excited to jump into the surprise kit. So let's drop this back down.
I'm not allowed to play with Legos.
Neither am
I have a problem. I love to build. I'm very like, I love it. It's just, you lose one piece, it's done. It's done. Like, it's done. Yeah. And I can't move on with my life, and I will like, so I'm not allowed to play with them anymore.
I can't play with them. No, we're not doing that.
I can't. I will make a tower, like a little clock on it, and be like, clock tower. I'm just kidding.
We've got time.
No pun intended. No pun intended. God, you are. Yeah, you're gonna regret having me on this show.
Never. No regrets. No regrets. Why? Because you nerded the hell out with us. So why would we?
I had so much fun, man. My people.
Exactly. This just means you got to come on again.
I might have to. I was so nervous. You don't understand. I was nervous. I was like, because I don't do like lives. I was like on Instagram waiting for the little live button. I thought that's what we.
Oh,
I don't do this, right? So I'm like waiting. I'm like crickets, and then I'm like, do I say, I'm like, ready when you are, let's go. And then you're like, we're waiting. I'm like, oh my gosh. And then these are the things that happened to me.
I was like, oh no, I sent an email.
I was fumbling. You don't understand how prepared I was. And I was so bad.
Well, now you know next time, right? So
I know, right? I'll be ready. I'll be like, listen, we're good.
Exactly, right? So let's jump into this. Where can everybody find you? Where, if social medias, anything that you want to promote right now, this is your time. These are your pluggables. Please.
I wish I had more pluggable opportunities, but I'm so like rare. Like, I'm not like out there a lot. I do have social media. I'm on Deborah Estelle Philips, at Deborah Estelle Philips on Instagram. And as far as Facebook, like I tend to like repeat everything because I'm not like on there. I like pop into things, but let's see, what else do I got going on? It's really, I'm an Instagram girl. And again, it's very rare when you get me because I'll tap in and I'll have like my little, I'm very intentional with it though. Like if I have something that's on my heart or like an experience I had, I'll cut a good little cute little reel and put it on there. But like, that's where you can find me, is on Instagram. I do, one thing I would like to plug, when I do my meet and greets and I get to like meet people that were fans of the show, I want to always get to know who they are and what they're going through. And I always want to give back like something because, they take the time to come see me. They I don't know what hoops they have to go through to like come to this Comic-Con to an experience. And I am so grateful for everyone that comes to see me. So I created these little bracelets It's like a Katie bear hug. It's probably backwards, but it's Katie bear hug. It's got a little heart hug on the back of it.
Oh, I love that.
So when you put it on, you kind of have it, where the heart is right there on the wrist. The heart is to remind you to take care of your mental health. People don't talk about it enough, and life is hard and life is challenging. We have our ups, our downs, and as somebody who struggles, I understand the crashes, the highs, the lows, and all of that stuff. So I want this to be a reminder that, we want to take care of ourselves. And on the inside of the bracelet, if you flip it inside out, you can't really see it, but engraved is a number to text home. You probably can't see that, but you text home to a certain number. And somebody who is trained in like talking to people about certain things, they'll contact you and talk to you about whatever's going on, so that whatever might be escalating, you can kind of have somebody, a safe place to just breathe or whatnot, because we just don't talk about it enough. And I think people need to know they're not alone. And this is just my little giveaway when I do meet and greet people, whether it's at like a Comic-Con or something like that, because I don't get out much, but I'm very intentional when I do. And I want to leave an impact wherever I go. So that's my little giveaways. So yeah, hopefully we'll have some things lined up, but if and when I will post them on my Instagram. So that's where you can find me.
Awesome. James, who is one of the co-hosts on the show, he was asking, are you going to be are you interested in Fandom Con?
Oh, like San Jose. Oh, okay. Oh, when is that? Is that coming up?
Fandom Con is November 7th through the 9th. So that's here in November. They have a massive Power Rangers lineup. So Brandon McLaren's going to be there. Let's see. I'm going down the list. Steve Cardenas, Walter Jones, Karen Ashley's going to be there. Austin St. John, Paul Schreier, Jason Narby, Carla Perez. Jason's going to be there. Jason Font's going to be there.
My people. All these people are my people. Like what?
Christy Ann's going to be there. Kerrigan Mon's going to be there. Ludi Lynn is going to be there. Let's see. Who else?
This is San Jose. That's not too far from me.
David Fielding is going to be there. So Zordon himself. And then, of course, friend of the show, who I've interviewed twice now, Dan Southworth, is going to be there.
Oh my gosh, I love that.
I love that.
That actually, I'm open to that. I would just say, yeah, like I haven't been asked, but it's one of those things where I am always open to, like, if somebody wants to invite me to a con, I'm always like, if I can do it, if I'm open, I'll consider it. Yeah. But I haven't. I guess I'm not very active on social media, but like if somebody were to invite me to go, sure. I mean, yeah, I guess DM me or
I was going to say, so let me ask you this, because I'm gonna ask you for your permission before I do anything. Okay. We're friends with the promoter. Would you mind if we gave him your email address and had him reach out?
Oh, look at that. Are you? Oh, really? This is for the San Jose one?
This is for that San Jose show, yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah,
we'll get in touch.
We're homies. What are you talking about? Wait, what?
Exactly. No, because I don't want to just.
I would be offended if you didn't. Like, wait, hold on. What? Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, let me because I'm gonna talk with James after the show here. So I'll let him know.
Is James okay? James is watching, right? Is James?
James is a co-host on our show.
Oh, hello.
Yeah. But he's also, we're friends with the guy who puts on Fandom Con. And like I said, they're doing a whole bunch of Rangers and Ranger characters. So it's like, cool. I mean, I'm sure he wouldn't have a problem.
I would absolutely. I am so open to that. This is what I mean. Like, I like to move organically. And if things like that just happen to just be like, hey, do you want, I'm up north. So it's very possible that I could just be like, sure. Like,
that's San Jose, because we're in Sacramento, so I mean, it's not like we're going to be hosting some of the panels and everything down there. So
100%. And this is in November.
This is in November 7th through the 9th.
Oh my gosh, I love this idea. I'm vibing with it right now. I'm like, clear my schedule. Let's go.
Also, given that you're a nerd, right? So I mean, like, everything else that we have on here. Katero Colbert is going to be there from Naruto. Jason Douglas, who was in Dragon Ball and One Piece and Borderlands. Alexis Tipton, who's been like all kinds of anime. Daniel Logan, friend of the show. Daniel Logan, who's young Boba Fett.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Amber Lee Connors, who was in a whole bunch of stuff. Kristen McGuire, Leah Clark.
Oh my gosh, I love
Let's
that.
see who else is going to be there. We already said Ludi Lin. James Pax from Big Trouble Little China is going to be there. Tim Russ from Star Trek. Kami DeVell from Matilda. Jamil. Oh, I'm so excited about this one. Jamil Walker Smith, who played. He was in Hey Arnold. He played Gerald.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, what?
Yeah, he played Gerald in Hey Arnold. He's going to be there. Walter Koenig is going to be there, who was Scotty.
Oh my gosh.
Ernie Reyes Jr. from, most famous from Ninja Turtles, but I mean, he's been in all kinds of stuff.
This is a wild lineup. Like, are you kidding? What? And you're like casually being like, yes, the answer is yes.
Yeah, Catherine,
Wait, what?
Catherine Cavadini, who played Blossom in Powerpuff Girls. Keone Young, who was on G.I. Joe. JB Blanc, who's like been all kinds of video games. We've got like multiple cast members from the Resident Evil games. So Nicole Thompson, Jacob Hopkins is going to be there. Stephanie Panicello is going to be there. Mick Wingert, who is like a massive voice actor. He's been in everything. Bob Morley from The 100. I mean, there's all kinds of. This lineup is ridiculous.
Wow,
and he's
that
not
is a big lineup, and it's like not just. It's like so many different little genres. Wow.
Yeah. And he's not done. He's not done announcing either, because there's still more people that he's announcing for this. So this is a massive. Like the whole thing is celebrating fandoms.
That is beautiful. What has anybody been announced for this yet? Or is this
These are all the people that are announced. So
they're already announced.
These are all the people who are on the website who are already announced.
Oh, I got it.
There are more people that he hasn't announced yet that we're still waiting on him to announce.
What?
Yeah.
Wow. Is this like a huge place? This sounds like a lot of
San Jose Convention Center. So I mean, yeah, it's pretty big.
This is big and wild, and I love it. It sounds like it's up my alley. Wow, that sounds like fun. It does. It sounds really cool. I like the lineup. That's a and he's not done. Oh my god. Okay.
Yeah, no.
Well, if he has room for one more, one of many more.
Yeah, like I said, I'll get with James at the end of the show. After the show here, I'll talk to him and see. Give him your email so we can pass it on to the promoter and see if he's got room. Then if he has room.
If he has a room, like by all means. But I really appreciate that. That would be so wonderful. And if it's not going to happen this year, then maybe moving forward or whatever, but I would love to. Like this is what it's about. Like I feel like it makes sense. You're a ranger, there's people from your show that are going to be there. I know. I love every single one person that you just mentioned. I was like yeah, those are my people,
especially for like for autograph collectors. They're definitely going to the more rangers that are there, the better.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, and I honestly prefer when I am with other people from Power Rangers. Like I don't like to necessarily go by myself if there's other genres, because it's like I feel like we need to stick together, like the Ranger community, And I mean, I already have two of the people from Time Force. You got Jason and Dan, right?
Right.
It's amazing. I love this. It sounds amazing. So we shall see. I am open to it. Definitely pass along my info.
I definitely will.
I would love to.
All right. Well, we jumped really into a long here.
I know. I was like, oh, I forgot. I'm like, this is live? Wait, hold on. I thought we were zooming. Like, my number is.
So real quick, Graveyard, please give everybody your pluggable, sir.
Yes, I am Graveyard, co-host of the Mostly Pod Out at Night, Mostly podcast. Pod. New episode drops next week, Thursday. We're back to it. Finally, I know. It's been a long time coming. And also make sure to check us out on all social media, Pod Out at Night, Conversations in the Void, every Wednesday at 9 p.m. Central. And hopefully, if I get guests for the new show, Whispers from the Deep, where I'll be discussing the underrated horror gems that people have and love, and watch it with them, and just create a whole show out of it. So make sure to follow us everywhere. I'm excited. And Decades of Horror is starting to film in a couple of weeks. The new show that we're doing.
That's right. That's
fun
right.
Stuff.
Ladies and gentlemen, you know who I am, your boy Young Phil. Of course, we are still on the road to 500, guys. Hit subscribe on YouTube. At the moment, we are just over 457, I think. once we hit 500 subscribers, guys, we are going to be giving away Lego kits. So, just hit subscribe, tell your friends, have them hit subscribe. Once we hit 500 subscribers, we're giving away Lego, guys. That's just basically it, right? That's what we're trying to do here. Of course, you have something you want to discuss, tell us what you're nerding out on. Connect with us on all the social media places. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. For some reason, we're still there, and still, I'm never calling it X. Twitch, TikTok, Threads, YouTube, Discord, Blue Sky, MySpace, Vine, GeoCities, Friendster, Second Life, AIM, Farmers Only, Christian Mingle, OnlyFans. It's only pictures of Aaron Watson's feet and Mandels the beard, Jamez's glasses, judging you for not subscribing to Distance Nerding on YouTube, and of course, everything she do will do for money, which is mostly just be afraid of this voice.
Me? Yeah.
So there's that right there. Of course, if you'd like to email us, or if you'd like us to break up with your boyfriend, girlfriend, significant other, pet, schoolyard bully, annoying neighbor, or just tell us how much you enjoy us, hate us, or wish the internet would consume us completely and spit us out at the feet of Goldar himself, because he is going to be at FandomCon and Zordon and all the Rangers. We're just going to get the shit kicked out of us by every Ranger in existence. That's actually happened. Remember, I cosplayed as Deadpool at a show, and we took a picture of multiple Rangers kicking me on the ground. It was great. Of course, you can send us an email at distintsnerding@aol.com, and we will read it all live on air. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is it from us. We enjoy. We'd like to thank everybody for coming and hanging out with us. Deborah, again, round of applause from everybody in the audience right here for coming out and hanging out with us. And of course, all the children are happy because Rangers.
It was my pleasure. I had so much fun.
Good. And again,
bore anybody.
Back on again. No, definitely wasn't boring. So again, ladies and gentlemen, we thank everybody for coming and hanging out with us tonight. As far as it goes, thanks, and keep nerding together. We will see everybody on the next one, guys. Oh, that's right. Tomorrow, we are doing the buzzer. So we are doing the game show tomorrow. We will be playing Jackbox games. Hopefully young Phil will be there because young Phil had a haircut appointment. So I'm going to try and get some time in on the show. We'll let everybody know, give everybody an update on what's going on, but we will be doing the buzzer tomorrow. So we will see everybody tomorrow for the buzzer, and we're going to have a good time as always. So one more time, guys, thanks, and keep nerding together. We will see everybody on the next run.
Bye.
Distance nerding.
Sorry, wrong one.
Distance nerding.
Thank you.